Good morning students, welcome back our new class. Today we are going to learn some more topics in the same lesson. Before going to that, we have to recollect some previous completed topics in the last class. Let us recall them. In our last class, we have studied about internal structure of chloroplast. Chloroplast is a membranous structure. How many membranes are there in chloroplast? 3 membranes. What are its internal structure? Its internal structure consists of 2 different parts. What are they? Stroma and granum. What is granum? What is stroma? And what is chlorophyll? Where does it locate? What atom present in chlorophyll? We studied such topics in our last class. Can you say what atom present in chlorophyll? Magnesium. One atom of magnesium is present in chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a pigment. It is similar to a structure of heme of hemoglobin. Heme of hemoglobin. Heme. It is a pigment. It is a red pigment present in where? Blood tissue. So it is a similar structure of heme of hemoglobin. So here magnesium, it is one of the atom present in where? Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green pigment present in where? Chloroplast. Okay, then we already studied about some more topics in our last class. Several events that occur in chloroplast during the process of photosynthesis. There are 3 main events that occur in chloroplast during the process of photosynthesis. What are they? Can you recall? 1. Conversion of light energy into chemical energy. Conversion of light energy into chemical energy. Second one, splitting of water molecule. Splitting of water molecule. Then third one, reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrate. These are 3 major events generally occur during the process of photosynthesis in where? Chloroplast. Okay. Now let us discuss another next topic is mechanism of photosynthesis. Mechanism of photosynthesis. Today we are going to learn about this topic. This mechanism of photosynthesis is divided into 2 main phases. So mechanism of photosynthesis is divided into how many phases? 2 main phases. One is photochemical phase and also known as light dependent reaction. Then second phase is biosynthetic phase. It is also known as light independent reaction. In the second step, we have observed photolysis process which was discovered by a scientist. His name is Robert Hill. That's why it is also known as Hill's reaction. It needs some energy. It can be done in presence of light. That's why this reaction is called photolysis, which means photo means what? Light. Lysis means what? Breaking. The light reaction takes place in chlorophyll containing thylakoids called grana of chloroplasts. Grana of chloroplast. Grana, it is a stacked sac-like structure formed from where? Third layer of chloroplast, and it is believed to be trapping of solar energy. So solar energy trapped by which part of chloroplast? Grana. Now let us discuss several steps that occur in the photochemical phase. Photochemical phase can be completed by some steps. It can be completed in 3 steps. It can be completed in 3 steps. Now let us discuss about photochemical phase. How can it occur in 3 steps in detail? Okay. Look at here in the notebook. Water molecule H2O split into 2 component ions. What are they? H plus and OH minus ions. Here H plus are also known as hydrogens and OH minus ions are also known as hydroxyl ions. So we can observe splitting of water molecule in the second step. For this reaction, for splitting of water molecule need some energy. Where does it come from? It comes from solar energy. Solar energy converted into chemical energy. Chemical energy, which is in the form of photons, is useful for splitting of the water molecule. Here, that's why this reaction is known as photolysis. Here, photolysis means, photo means light, lysis means breaking. Photo means what? Light. Lysis means breaking. This entire water molecule splitting needs some chemical energy. Which is in the form of what? Photons. Photons are responsible for split water molecule into two component ions, namely H plus and OH minus ions. That's why the entire process or reaction is known as what? Photolysis. The reaction can be done in presence of photons or chemical energy. That's why the entire process is known as photolysis. The reaction is known as what? Photolysis. This reaction was discovered by Robert Hill, a scientist called what? Robert Hill. His name is Robert Hill. That's why this reaction is also known as Hill's reaction. Now we are discussing about photochemical phase. It can be divided into three major steps. In the first step, chlorophyll. The chlorophyll on exposure to light energy becomes activated by absorbing photons. Here, chlorophyll on exposure to light energy becomes activated by absorbing a photon. Here, photon is the smallest unit of light energy. Photon is the smallest unit of light energy. We can observe here light energy can be trapped by a pigment called what? Chlorophyll. In the light energy, photons, light energy which is in the photons will trapped by a special pigment called what? Chlorophyll in chloroplast. We can see in this first step, conversion of light energy. After trapping of solar energy by a special pigment called chlorophyll, then changed into another form of energy is called what? Chemical energy. In this step, we can see conversion of light energy to chemical energy. Further, the formed chemical energy is useful for next process. In the second step, the energy is used splitting of water molecule. That formed or converted chemical energy then used for what? Splitting of water molecule into two component ions called what? Hydrogen and hydroxyl ions. In the second step, we can observe splitting of water molecule. The energy is used to splitting water molecule into two component ions. What are they? H plus and OH minus ions. Here we can observe the energy. Which energy? The chemical energy is used in what? Splitting of water molecule. The chemical energy formed after conversion of light energy in the first step. In the first step, we can see conversion of light energy after trapping by chlorophyll. Conversion of light energy into chemical energy. That converted chemical energy is then useful for what? Splitting of water molecule in the second step. The third step, the highly reactive H plus OH minus ions undergo quick change. OH minus ions through series of steps produce water and oxygen. Water may be used by the plant inside, and OT is generally released into the atmosphere. H plus ions undergo series of changes in the dark reaction. Compounds that can trap energy like ATP and NADPH are formed at the end of dark reaction. These are called assimilatory powers. The term dark reaction or light independent reaction does not mean that they occur when it is dark at night. It means that these reactions are not dependent on light. Look at this picture. H plus ions produced in photolysis are immediately picked up a special compound NADP to form NADPH. In the dark reaction, hydrogens of NADP is used to combine it with CO2 by utilizing ATP to form or produce glucose. In this formation, we can observe formation of carbohydrate or glucose. How does it form? Here, in this dark reaction, and hydrogens of NADPH. Hydrogens of NADPH is used to combine it with CO2 by utilizing which energy? ATP to produce what? Carbohydrate or glucose. Look at that equations which are given in that notebook. What you understand from that equation? H plus ions produced in photolysis are immediately picked up by a special compound NADP to form what? NADPH. In the dark reaction, the hydrogens of NADPH is used to combine it with CO2 by utilizing ATP to form carbohydrate or glucose. This synthesis require different intermediary compounds and enzymes. This synthesis what? Biosynthetic phase requires some intermediary compounds and enzymes to formation of glucose or carbohydrate. So far we have studied about two phases of mechanism of photosynthesis. Mechanism of photosynthesis consists of how many phases? Two phases. One is photochemical phase and another one is biosynthetic phase. In the biosynthetic phase, we can observe formation of glucose or synthesis of glucose. Then at the end of the light reaction or photochemical phase, we can observe formation of two compounds called ATP and NADPH. Here ATP and NADPH are assimilatory powers. They are also known as assimilatory powers. Okay, they are formed at the end of the light reaction. At the end of the light reaction. Here ATP full form is adenosine triphosphate. And what about NADPH? Nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide hydrogen phosphate. What is it? Nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide hydrogen phosphate, NADPH. This photosynthetic phase may occur after the daytime in several plants, and sometimes it may occur in the dark. That is why this reaction is called dark reaction. We already studied about light dependent reaction. It may only occur in the daytime. So we can observe another phase that should be continue after photochemical phase is what? Biosynthetic phase. It may occur after daytime in several plants, and sometimes it may occur even in the dark. That's why this is also known as dark reaction. This is also known as what? Dark reaction. Students, so far we have studied about a phase light dependent reactions. These reactions can be occurred in presence of light energy only. Absence of light energy, it may not occur. This may not occur absence of light energy. Now let us discuss another reaction in the mechanism of photosynthesis. What is it? Light independent reactions or biosynthetic phase. Now let us discuss briefly about biosynthetic phase. These reactions does not require the presence of light. Continuation of this phase after the daytime may occur in some plants and sometimes even absence of it or in the dark. Mechanism of photosynthesis, it is divided into how many phases? Two phases. One is photochemical phase and second one is biosynthetic phase. Now let us discuss in each one in detail. First one, photochemical phase or light dependent reaction. In this reaction, light plays a major key role. Light plays a major key role. A series of chemical reactions occur in quick succession initiated by light. That's why this reaction technically called as photochemical phase. Why do we call this light dependent reaction is as photochemical phase? Because of a series of chemical reactions occur in quick succession initiated by light. That's why light plays a major key role in this reaction. After synthesis of glucose at the end of dark reaction, finally the formed glucose is converted to starch. Starch is a preferable food material for plants. Plants need food material which is in the form of starch. It can be used for its internal construction and biological activities. Students, so far we have studied about mechanism of photosynthesis. It has two main phases. One is light dependent reaction and another one is light independent reaction. Light dependent reaction is also known as photochemical phase. Light independent reaction also known as biosynthetic phase. Students, I will get back to you soon with new topics for our next class. Thank you.